Hey guys, what's up everyone? How's everyone doing? Pat here from Card Collector HQ, back with another video, and it's summertime. It is officially the NHL offseason, which means a lot of trade rumors and players changing teams, and that got me thinking, what's the impact on the value of a card when a player gets traded or when a player signs to a new team? So we're gonna go at the computer, look at some data. Stay tuned.
Alright, so now let's go look at some data for card values. So I'm moving on to Card Ladder. If you don't know it, it's a website where you can track the recent sales values of different cards. Now, hockey is not a popular sports like basketball or football, but still there are some cards out there, and I was able to find pretty much all the cards that I wanted to talk about. But the sample size is much smaller, but still we could see some trends, and that's what today's all about. Alright, so I did some digging in the last few years to look for the biggest trades and free agent sign-ins that happened in the NHL. I realized there were not a lot, but still some good use case that we can look. And the first one will be from this season, Taylor Hall. So Taylor Hall was playing New Jersey, got traded to Boston on April 12th. And as you can see, the card here was pretty stable in terms of price. And as you'll see in this video, most of the price jumped around January of this year. That was the beginning of the NHL season. It was a shortened season due to COVID. And with the card market, and so this year the card market was higher, and then the season started in January. So there's a lot of spike in price around that point. But as you can see, after that, it stabilized a little bit. And then you can see the next thing, it goes up in May. So that's right after the trade. So maybe less than a month in after the trade, goes up and up and up in value. Maybe you can zoom in a little bit. So from that point on, maybe the trade is around here in the middle. It goes up in value and hasn't really got down too much yet. So it looks like being traded, especially to a team like Boston, who was a contender, who's a much more popular team maybe than New Jersey, seems to have a positive effect on his card value. Next one, Pierre-Luc Dubois. So young centerman playing in Columbus. You see here is Young Gun. And by the way, I'm pretty much going to focus on the Young Guns cards because they are the most popular rookie cards. So a lot more sales data. If you want to know more about the different types of cards, by the way, I'll put a link to my modern hockey card collecting 101 video up there. Go check it out if you haven't already, or if you're new to the sports cards, to the hockey card market. And anyway, so Dubois, a young player playing in a pretty bad team, especially for this season, and got a lot of exposure because he wasn't a restricted free agent, wanted out of Columbus. The contract talks were difficult. And then the season started, so as you can see, huge spike in value because the season started, but also because there was a lot of rumors that he was going to be moved at some point. And you can see a pretty nice boost right after the trade. He was traded to the Winnipeg Jets at the end of January. So not super convincing, but still you can see something happening here. Definitely there's a bump in value, but then after that, he wasn't playing on the first line, so he was playing on a much better team, more depth, and well, he had kind of a down season, and as you can see, his prices are really falling down. But what we're interested in looking, it's really the spike around the trade and in the beginning of the season also. Next up, who do I got? All right, Sam Bennett. So I just wanted to look also at, guys that are not star players and see how the trade can affect them also. Sam Bennett was a top 3 pick in 2004-15, I believe. Did not really live up to the expectation in Calgary. And as you can see, that's the PSA 10 card, and it's pretty cheap all the way from 2016 to this season. So once again, you see a little, not even, at the beginning of this season, a little spike, but not really. And once again, not a lot of sales. So, rather small sample size. But then at this point, he got traded to the Florida Panthers, and that was also in April. So on April 12th, he was traded to Florida. And as you can see from that point on, the card reached some pretty much an all-time high. And it's not a super valuable card, still in the 50s, 60s for a PSA 10. But if you look at the past years, it's twice, if not 3 times as much valuable. So even on players that are not having a great season, sometimes, people hope that a change of scenery will do good. A lot of speculating, of course, in sports card investing. And I think that's a nice proof right here. And then let's go check out some free agents. I was able to find some interesting names, and one of the biggest one was John Tavares, who signed with the Maple Leaf Toronto on July 2018. There you go. That's right here. So the card there was a spike here. I'm not too sure what happened there, but in the mid-$100, which pretty much the baseline for the last few years. And then in July, boom, right there. That was July 1st that he signed. Right there, it's double in price. So a nice spike right here. And after that, well, there's ups and downs. But if you look at average value, like the baseline was pretty much double that it was. Just by moving to Toronto, pretty much double the card value right here. Next up, Artemi Panarin moved from Chicago to New York for the Rangers. Big hockey team, New York. Big hockey market also. Maybe not the same as Toronto, but still, a lot more people. And I was looking at that, and as you can see, not much. So he signed in New York on July 1st, 2019. And yep, a little bump here, like maybe $20 or something like that. And playing with the Rangers, eventually he got some really good stat line, and then really became back the star player that we've saw glimpse of him in Chicago in his early career there. But it was not an instant spike in value. So, I wanted some counter examples also, because like I said earlier, this is speculating. This is pretty much like the stock market. So you don't know exactly what's going to happen. But this was like a good move for the longer term. And then him again, you see it's like 3 times as much the baseline as it was a year before. But that's the whole card market that's changed in 2020 and 2021. All right, guys. So these are the players that I wanted to check with you today. So in conclusion, it looks like there is a bump in value when major players get traded. Could be because of the hype of the news, maybe because new markets, so new people are looking to collect this player now that he's playing with their team. Different possibilities, but obviously there are other factors in play, such as performances and where the player is actually traded. So keep that in mind. This is the off season, lots of trades, lots of rumors coming up. So stay close to the news. If you like this content, consider subscribing. I put out video twice a week now. And on that, I'm going to say to you, goodbye, have a good day, and see you next time.